I really love animated movies, maybe a little too much sometimes. What kinds of animated movies do I love? Well, some of them include films set in a somewhat alternate world where the characters are based on people from a longer time ago in a certain part of the world. And there are other characters that happen to be dragons, and dragons are cool. And in the animated movies I love, there is a human character and a dragon, a very rare dragon at that, and throughout the course of the film, they bond and become best friends. And as they do this, they learn about each other's species and how they treat each other, and maybe the humans start to question themselves in that maybe they're looking at something in the wrong way. And that is exactly why I absolutely loved Raya and the Last Dragon.
You naughty, you teasing me, you naughty.
I am a very big Disney guy. Most people my age are or have been at some point. Cars basically shaped my childhood. Fun fact, Disney actually bought Pixar the year Cars was released, so obviously they knew what they were doing with that acquisition. And I've seen numerous other Disney films countless times. And I guess the way I look at Disney animation studios, to be specific, and I guess it's a similar way I look at a lot of studios, you're only as good as your last movie. Or at least that's how you remember it going into their next film. And the last Disney animation studios film was Frozen 2. And that was mediocre at best. So although the trailer looked really good, the early reviews were fantastic, imagine my surprise when I watched it and I thought this is the best thing Disney have made since The Lion King.
Oh my god! Wow!
And given that Frozen 2 was in 2019, it almost felt weird seeing an official Disney film again. Like it had been so long since I had seen a new Disney movie. And of course, the year that was 2020 played a factor in lengthening that time gap. I guess starting to see more new films in general is weird. Like we're getting a Disney film, the Snyder Cut, and Godzilla vs. Kong all in the same month. I mean, that's just crazy, and I feel like we haven't seen something like that since, I want to say, December 2019. You kind of forget that many big movies can come out so close to each other.
Anyway,
Raya. Yes, I said what I said. This is the best Disney film since The Lion King. Although I haven't seen Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, or Mulan. So let's say it's the best one since the Renaissance. Raya feels like Disney doing exactly what they have come to be known for, to the absolute highest standard, while also breaking into new territory. By the stuff they're known for, I mean the dynamic between Raya and Sisu, which is one of my favorite things ever. It's a classic human and animal pairing that Disney are kind of known for, but this might be one of their very best. These two instantly click. Like, instantly. Sisu is easily one of my favorite Disney characters, and she brings a lot out of Raya that Raya herself isn't able to. And because of that, Raya has this great arc throughout the film, especially in terms of her view on the rest of the world. Kelly Marie Tran and especially Awkwafina are perfect in their respective roles and really bring the characters to life. If the animation didn't already do that, they bring just the right amount of energy to performances, and it's just awesome to watch. And Raya certainly isn't the only great character in this, because Sisu, like mentioned, is amazing and brings the trademark Disney magic to this film. Her design is so distinct and beautiful, she definitely stands out among animated dragons and animated animals in general. Although Toothless will always be one of my favorites, when the day comes where I decide to rank the top 10 dragons in movies, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that day. But for now, I'd say Sisu, because I'm just so obsessed with this movie. What else I loved about this movie is how well it's built and structured. It introduces us to this world in a quick storyboard type thing, where it tells us all of the backstory that we could possibly need to know, and then we are instantly launched into the world and its characters. It's a very fast-paced film, but I guess a lot of animated films are, you know, with kids not having the greatest of attention spans, I guess. Hell, I don't have the greatest attention span, so a movie like this is kind of perfect for me. But it really is a rich world that they build, and although I think they could branch off into more films if they really wanted to, I'm amazed at just how much they managed to fit in 90 short minutes. This Infinity War-like plot is a very easy one to follow, and it leads to plenty of great moments as they meet new characters, and I love the subtle inclusion of Southeast Asian culture. It's not quite in your face, but even if you're not from that region of the world and don't know that much about it, I could definitely feel that they really wanted to capture the authenticity of the setting they were portraying. And you've always seen Disney do great with settings like this. Like how they went to Africa when they were preparing to do Lion King, they took trips to Asia and it paid off beautifully. Not to mention that a lot of people who worked on this film are Asian themselves, so of course they would know better than anyone what they want to include in this movie. From the opening animation that reminds me of Asian shadow theater, I want to call it. I could be entirely wrong in that, but when I saw it I knew, yes, that is from that part of the world. Or how this little bit reminds me of an almost anime-like animation. How Talon is a nod to those Asian street markets you see, the different environments blending together, the different architecture you see throughout the film. It's a beautifully put together film, certainly one of my favorite Disney worlds. And I'm sure the designs of the dragons themselves are very reminiscent of those in those specific cultures, although I am not too informed on those exact things. But I know different countries have different designs for dragons, and like I said before, I really loved what they did with Sisu. And that they didn't make her a flying dragon, rather one that uses the rain to run through the air. Just something to make this film even more unique than it already is. Now all of that is trademark Disney. Few do it better, but Raya also feels like fresh ground for Disney. And that Raya and the Last Dragon is the first Disney film that I genuinely label as an action movie. Because at times it definitely feels exactly like that. It's like they took Indiana Jones and made him a Disney princess. And the result of that is one of the best Disney princesses there has ever been. She's strong, independent, but flawed, like all great protagonists. So the going through temples, looking for the stones, having to beat different challenges, that really reminded me of Indiana Jones, or maybe something along the lines of Lara Croft, but in a more ancient setting. Either way, whatever they took inspiration from, they absolutely hit the nail on the coffin. But not only do you have the fun exploration scenes, there's a lot of great fight sequences. And again, this feels like Disney breaking new ground in what they include in their movies. I really enjoyed seeing Raya and Namaari beat the shit out of each other. I'm not a martial arts guy, but I'm sure they took some inspiration from that part of the world in crafting these fight scenes. And Namaari was a great character too. Simple? Sure. But for a Disney movie like this, I'd say it was kind of perfect. Now there are some spoiler related things to talk about, but there isn't a whole lot that I have to say about it. So all I'll say is that it was some pretty powerful stuff, and I'd expect no less from Disney. This was such a fun blast of a film, but it had just as much substance to it through its simple but important message that we are stronger together. It was exactly what I needed that day after a slightly disappointing WandaVision finale. In fact, I loved it so much that I watched it again the very next day. What I love about it is that it's Disney taking on a new and original story. And when they do that, a lot of the time it goes down very well. And if they continue to do this, I think we're in for a great decade of Disney films. Sure, you can have the occasional sequel, but original projects are definitely the way to go. And Encanto looks to be yet another great Disney musical, but this time we're traveling to Latin America. Guess they're just ticking off each part of the world that they want to represent in their movies.
Today is Diversity Day.
I mean, hey, as long as the animation is as rich and alive as it was in Raya, and we can keep a fun tone with great characters and story, keep them coming. And Lin-Manuel Miranda is doing the songs, and looking at how Moana turned out, this could give Raya a run for its money for Best Disney Movie of the Year. And speaking of music, this is definitely an early contender for Score of the Year. I say that, there's 2 Hans Zimmer scores still on the way, and God knows what else we might hear, but this is a special one. A dark horse come awards season in 2022, I'm sure. Obviously, I can't play it here because of copyright, but go listen to Running on Raindrops on YouTube, Spotify, whatever, and tell me you don't instantly feel like your mood has been elevated. And that's just one piece from the entire score. It varies so much, but fits perfectly wherever it's used. Definitely one of my favorite Disney scores of recent memory. Hats off to you, James Newton Howard. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Hey, if you forgot it, it probably wasn't all that important.
Actually, I know exactly what I'm forgetting, and I've done it to keep you watching. Are you still watching? Who knows anymore? You're here for the score. That's what everyone's here for at the end of the day. Now, when I first watched it, I thought, boom, easy 10. But then I thought about it a little longer, maybe thought a little more with my brain than my heart, and I thought maybe I was getting a little ahead of myself. But it's pretty close because I give Raya and the Last Dragon a 9.5 out of 10. And I think if it ages well, it definitely has the potential to go up to a 10. But not yet. So that's my review for Raya and the Last Dragon. No, there will not be a ranking of every Disney movie. I'm preparing that for after Encanto, or maybe in the summer if I feel like doing it earlier. Either way, there will be multiple other Disney ranking videos throughout the course of the year, as if all those MCU reviews weren't already enough. Disney. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's an improvement on the last video. Thank you guys so much for the support on the return video.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I love doing these videos and I love seeing your reactions in the comments, and I'd really appreciate if you smash that like button. I don't know how much it helps with the algorithm, but I certainly appreciate it. In terms of what's in the pipeline next, probably the Justice League review, and I'm still working out what I want to cover on the channel, or maybe what I just put on Letterboxd or Instagram. One day I had an idea of building a website where I can just put everything, so that's an idea for the near future, but I am very much looking forward to talking about Justice League. And I also want to try a first time reaction video with Facecam, and that would probably be for something like Avatar, because a lot of people tend to get on my back for not having seen that, but Justice League will be the next video. Anyway, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.